What an exciting game. That was a heck of a game. I'm really proud of our guys, how they come in. This is one of the toughest environments in college football to come into. Very emotional night against one of the most talented teams out there. I mean, I know everybody knows the talent that's on that team. And, I think all week I've been harping on our guys. Just keep, stick with it. Continue to improve from one week to the next, and in practice, and it'll show on Saturday in our preparation. I think our guys are really starting to buy into. We need to prepare the right way. And if we do that, your performance is going to start to improve. And even all week, just talking about think about each rep of practice. Think about what you're doing. And that's going to be how you're going to perform. Is that to the standard you want to perform come Saturday? So. We came in here. We found a way to win a different style game, which is what if you want to be in our program, in this league, you're going to win all different styles of games. Last week we won by the big play. This week we won by grinding it out. And so that's pretty cool. This is great win for us. And as I've always said, right, in this league, you win 2 really tough road games. You won against a rival, then you come in and you play a top 15 team the next week, and you get to head home and play the top 5 team the next week. That's kind of what the league does to you. So, we'll enjoy this win tonight and get to work on LSU tomorrow.
Dan, they had some success early with the run. What was kind of the adjustment there that you guys were able to?
Well, it really wasn't. It wasn't that. We just had to be more physical. I think that was the biggest aspect of us. It wasn't like there were gaping holes everywhere and there were explosive play after explosive play. It was they were knocking us back a little bit and getting the kind of the ball control, move the sticks. I don't know if that was their plan. Coming in, we had 3 possessions in the first half. Felt like they were really trying to run the clock and shorten the game and slow the game down a whole bunch. And I don't know if you look at it, we ran 66 plays finally. They ran 58, and so that's not a lot of plays running the game. It was short in that way. And so talk to our guys, just don't freak out. I think we played Kentucky doing that, and they had a similar plan. And I think we got guys jump out of gaps, trying to make a play. Like, we got to get off the field. I'm going to try to go make a play on my own instead of just doing your job, fitting your gap, playing fit. Just be a little bit more physical, a little bit more stouter, and all of a sudden, that first and 10, second and 4, third and 1, goes from first and 10 to second and 9. The 3rd and 7, and that's a different deal. And so that was a big adjustment, to be honest with you.
How'd you negate Simmons and Sweat so well?
If you see what we did, we tried to get as many doubles on them as we could all night, or check protections. We did a lot more check and protect, staying in more max protecting, or getting the ball out really quick. Because you're talking about 2 of the best D linemen in the SEC. There are times even I saw Simmons out, I'm like, okay, we can run it. And they're like, he's out for like 1 play. I'm like, all right, shoot. By the time I saw he was out, I get ready to call the next play, he's back in. And so, but I think the big key was just our consistency through the night, our ability to stay on the field, make some 3rd down conversions, hit a couple of shots here and there down the field, and stay fairly balanced, I guess not, right? We had, only 118 rushing, but 239 passing. We outrushed them, and they were one of the best rushing teams in the country, though, so I think that's a pretty big positive.
Dan, when the call comes in on 4th down, there's going to be a safety blitz. Is there a part of you that's, cringing a little bit because...
No, heck, go get it. Attack. Todd and I, we've been through it before. I've done it. We've played coverage and made plays, and we've blitzed and not made plays. And, he's got to get the feel. Hey, let's go after him. I've learned one thing through the years. Shut my mouth in that situation. You know what I mean? I'm just going to shut my mouth. Todd, I'm here if you need me. And, because I don't want, he's the one that watched all the film, put the game plan together, put all the blitz package together. So I just need to sit there quietly and let him go.
What was the thought process behind the double pass to Tony?
They're a really aggressive defense. We've been driving the ball. We got the ball in the red zone, and we thought, which would happen. We'd been throwing some quick screens, and all of a sudden they jump up on the quick screen, and the double pass is open.
Coach, you guys really got to Nick Fitzgerald tonight from the pressure on him. Would you credit being able to stop him due to the familiarity that you guys have with you and Grantham just being here?
Yeah, I don't know that that's really the case. You know, I think one of the big things we wanted to do with him was try to pressure him, but also keep him in the pocket. And, you know, if you look, I mean, his designed called runs, he had success, which we know, you know, I mean, you're not going to just dial that up and stop that. You know, but you got to contain it. Like I said, we got to fit, just tackle him, get him on the ground, and be a little bit stouter and force him into some third down situations. And then when we did, try to keep him in the pocket, get pressure out. But we have some good guys. We have some guys who can get some pressure off the edge. And then, but don't give him those scramble lanes where he can scramble to throw or scramble to run, where he makes a lot of his big plays. And I think we did a much better job than we've done in weeks past of really keeping our rush lanes and keeping him in the pocket.
What
Dan,
about
this is a
Fuller?
game that everybody's kind of been pointing to since you took the job. How special was it to come in here and win it? And what kind of reception did you get out there tonight?
Boy, I mean, it was great. It's kind of like Bizarro World, right? Isn't that like, it's like a Seinfeld, like, you know, like the Bizarro, like there's the Bizarro George and the Bizarro, right? And, that episode, because, you know, I mean, I was in the same locker I've been in for 9 years. I flipped the locker rooms, just like I'm in here. I'm like, you know, warming up on the same side of the field. The only thing I had to make sure is I took a right instead of a left when I ran out of the tunnel. You know, but it's pretty special for me. You know, I mean, to come in here. It's probably the last time I'm ever in this stadium. You know, I mean, you know, with how the SEC works. I mean, you know, so to finish, this is my last time ever being at Davis Wade Stadium, to finish with a win, and you know, I mean, I don't want to freak everybody out, but what is it, like 14 years? You know, that's a long time from now, all right? Before you ever. What's that?
The touchdown?
Yeah.
Is that something you put in this week or something?
No, it's something we've had for a couple of weeks. It's something we put in actually back in training camp. You know, I've always said that about deceptive and kind of trick plays like that. It's not really the play design more than when you call it and how you execute it. And so it's a play that we've had in the game plan, I think, every week this season, and we just never got around to calling it. So we finally made the call.
When you were 2 weeks ago, you guys, sorry, somebody else. 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, when you guys were kind of giving up for dead, how far has this team physically come? In that, I mean, that was everybody said was a soft team. And how far are they physically?
Yeah, well, I don't think we did play very physical that night, but I think we're learning. You know, I think in that game, you know, if you look back to that game, they hit a couple explosive plays. You know, I mean, it was a grinded out game similar to this, except when it was time to make the plays, we made them tonight, and that week, a couple weeks ago, we didn't. And I don't, you know, you're 1 week, you're as good as your next play. So that's how I got. I'm just worried about that. And you know, this win doesn't mean we're a great team. It doesn't mean we're a bad team. It means we came out, we played hard tonight. We were better this week than we were last week. And if we want to continue, if we continue to do that, we'll have the opportunity to win another game next week. And but if we don't, if we're not more physical, if we don't play with more effort, if we don't play with more discipline and better execution, if we don't work harder at practice this week, we can't. We're not. I mean, I can already tell you what the outcome of the game will be. And, you know, that's the mindset these guys have to have. And, you know, and I think I hope, it's looked like in the last couple of weeks they've really started to buy into that.
How
Dan, what do
steady
you
was
think?
Felipe?
Pardon?
How steady was Felipe?
Good. You know what? I thought he did. I thought he made some really good decisions tonight. He made some good checks. Made some good throws down the field. I don't think, he had a pick on a tip ball, you know, which is kind of too bad. He didn't throw a touchdown pass. That's too bad.
He was like 22 or 30 or something. I don't know what it
Yeah,
was.
we got 22 of 31,
Yeah.
219. I think that's a pretty solid day. And you know, coming in against that defense, you know, you're talking about that's one of the best defenses in the deepest defenses in the country. And you know, to come in here and execute the plan the way that he was able to, and you know, I thought he did a great job.
What about just his composure in terms of really your offense kind of was able to dictate things in the second half?
Yeah, I do. I think he did. I think you know, there's always little things, you know, that harp on him on, but I do. I think I don't think he ever got conservative. He kept trying to take what they were giving us, not just, even our run pass options, he wasn't like, okay, I'm just going to hand the ball off here. He was still taking, trying to take what they were giving us and stayed aggressive all night long, and huge for us to get a win.
3 false starts in the first 2 drives. What did it take for your team to kind of settle down?
That's just mental softness. You know what I mean? It's a loud, rowdy environment, and I know, this is one of the loudest places in the SEC, but, once you hit a certain level of loud, it's loud. And if they, so it's not like, oh, this is a little bit louder than that, and so that's causing the big issue. It's just a mental toughness aspect, and honestly, we got to be more mentally tough than that.
And Damian Pierce coming in the fourth quarter had some huge runs for you. What can you say about his performance?
He did. Like I said, you keep looking. He came in. I wanted to try to get him the ball. He hit a big run, and we kind of left him in, and he had a couple other tough runs. I'd love to say, if you look at us this year and say, boy, I'd love to have a 1,000-yard rusher. I don't know that that'll be the case for us this year, but we might have 3 that have put up really, really good numbers running the ball at the running back position. And that might not seem much in an individual game. But as the year goes on, and they're fresh, and they can kind of pound away, and we have 3 guys that are physical, can make you miss, and have speed. Them keep coming at you, can be tough to handle.
We have Zuniga's in the back of the room, while some other players here shortly, but if you want to grab him, like Coach Mullen's talking, you're welcome to do so.
Some emotional moments with some of your former players.
After the game, it is. It's hard to, if you haven't done it, it's hard to explain the coach-player relationship. You know what I mean? It is such an unbelievably tight relationship. And, I recruited those guys, most of them, a lot of them. Coached them, helped develop them. Those are guys that they believed in what I was trying to build here. And, there's guys on that team, there's guys on that team that had every scholarship in America. And there's some guys that didn't, and we took chances on. But all of them, I don't know. You love those guys. You really do. You love all those guys. I feel for them, because there's nothing like, I tell you, when I talked about it earlier, the competing, it was kind of a fun for me. You're going to compete against somebody that's not a team that's a rival, or not a team that you kind of have that, but a team of guys that you love, and so you still like. Trust me. I told our guys coming in, it wasn't about me. It wasn't about anything. I want to win because I want to win, and we need to make sure we keep our composure, and that's what it's all about. And just play our game. And our guys were able to do that, and I tried to make sure that it was that. And then after the game, to get to see those guys and give them hugs. It was the toughest thing I ever had to do was have a team meeting on Sunday. Well, I should rephrase that, because there's a lot of tough moments in life when you lose players and other things. But in a coaching moment in a meeting that you have, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is you walk in, and and I know there were different stories that have been out there. I met with that team to tell them I was leaving before I told my mom, my dad, or any person in my family. The first people that found out, the players in that locker room, that I was going to move on, and and then that. After that meeting, a bunch of them came up, give me hugs, and this is the next time I've seen any of them. You know what I mean? When you're that close to people, and I know how hard those guys work and what they want, and I know they're going to have a great rest of the season, and because they're a talented group and a tough group of young men, and so that was. That's why I was probably emotional after the game.
Dan, were you sentimental at any point, though, during the game? Did you soak in the atmosphere at any point, like the third quarter, the song?
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
I tried to block some of it out.
Okay.
Right? I did. Coming out before the game and seeing it, one of the things we help create here, you see, you come out, I don't know if you said, an hour before kickoff and the student section's full, going crazy. not a seat in the house. You know, the different traditions. You know, when I remember a couple of years ago saying, "Hey, we need to play Don't Stop Believing" and start the fourth quarter. That was good. I tried not to look around and take it all in. I've seen it many a time, and I wanted to keep my focus on the game. But it was a little surreal. You know, I mean.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you have any concerns though that your guys, because they've been hearing it all week, you know, this is a Mullen Bowl and all that?
Yeah, you know what, Bria Mill today, you know, a couple like, hey, let's lock arms when we come out with you and do that. I said, we don't do that every game. I said, it's not about me tonight. It really isn't. It's about the Florida Gators coming out there and improving as a football team. Coming on the road against a great opponent, you know, a team that's ranked in the top 25, in top 20, and go get a win. It has nothing to do with my emotions or any of that. That's on me. But I told her, guys, I want to win, and I didn't want to win this game more than I wanted to win last week's game, and I didn't want to win this game more than I wanted to win next week's game. I love winning. I love competing. So you know, I love it, and you know, it's not more or less because of the atmosphere of the situation. It's great to get this win, and there's, you know, because maybe the sentimental aspect of some things.
Who wanted to lock arms?
I think Freddie, a couple of them were like, we need to do this, and we got your back. I said, just, what I didn't want is I didn't want anything about me with our team, because I didn't want us to lose our focus on what we needed to do to be successful.
Didn't want it to be different, right?
Yeah, really. But come out and play better than we did last week. And that had to be the focus. And I didn't bring it up all week. And talk about it, and talk about this game, and what it meant for me. I think they heard it, and you saw that with how they treat our players, treated me after the game. You know, and I appreciate them for that, but I wanted to make sure that never became a distraction.
Did you expect an ice bath?
No, I really wasn't. You know, I mean, but I do appreciate our players. I mean, to me, that shows that it shows that the guys are starting to believe and buy into what we're trying to build here. You know, because when you do that, I mean, I'll be honest with you, we're tough on them, and you know, I mean, that shows that they, you know, I mean, it shows that there's a love in that locker. We don't always got to like. We're a family. You don't always got to like each other, but there's a love and a respect for each other in that locker room. And I'm not going to get any softer on them. I'm just going to get tougher on them. But I think it shows how the team's coming together.
You said it's not about you, but the fans were chanting your name there at the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they were. You know, I mean, it was a sentimental moment. You know what I mean, for everybody. It was great to see it back here. I don't think anybody. I don't think from one time, from the second we landed till after the game, you know, seeing all the state troopers, all the police that escorted me, bus drivers, everybody, you know, I certainly hope all the fans, I certainly hope the team, the guys in the program, I don't worry about. I know that what they think for them. I do, and the former players and all that. Certainly hope all the fans, the people of Starkville, you know, I would hope the administration, I can't tell you that, but I would
The Irish Tony and Voshan Joseph in the back.
I would hope the administration, you know, respects what we were able to accomplish, and like all the, you know, Bulldog Club, all those people that are here, you know, appreciate what I tried to accomplish while I was here and how much I put into it, and I think the fans for sure anyway, and I know a lot of former players, and my wife is back in town seeing the friends and family. I know they want to beat me, but I think there was a lot of appreciation for what we were able to accomplish.
Any final questions for Coach?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
I was going to ask you what you thought of the targeting call, but you probably can't talk about it.
I tell you what, I can't talk about it. I want to see it on film. I thought the ball, like I asked him, I thought the ball was loose.